you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. Other translation says endurance. The testing of your faith, that's what a trial is in James's context. It's the testing of your faith with the goal of producing, in the Greek language, hupomone. Say that with me. Hupomone. One of my favorite Greek words. It just rings, doesn't it? Hupomone. Hupomone literally means to remain under, to bear up beneath pressure without fleeing or collapsing. Now, hupomone, or steadfastness or endurance, is not passive resignation. Rather, it's spiritual toughness. It's the ability to stay faithful and steady and obedient while the weight of life sort of presses in on you. Now, without knowing it, I learned a little bit about hupomone on the high school football field, and especially through our strength and conditioning coach. Strength and conditioning training for the fall season always started during the summer months. While the rest of my friends were off doing whatever you do during the summertime, starting in June and July, the football team was in strength and conditioning training, and that meant every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we were out on the track running sprints, and then we were in the weight room. Tuesdays and Thursdays, they turned us into cross-country distance runners, and that happened through the month of June and July. And then came August, practices 3 times a day, morning, noon, under the hot sun, and then an evening practice. And before, during, and after practices, we ran 40-yard sprints up and down the field and up and down the field. And if anybody lagged by, our coach would straddle the 40-yard line and say, add 2, add 3. We'd run 40 or 50 40s, sometimes before, sometimes during, sometimes after practice, and then go into the weight room under the hot August sun. It was excruciating. And every once in a while you'd ask, Coach, why are we doing this? And they would remind us of a very important principle, that it was the teams that were in the best physical condition that had the greatest opportunity, especially in the fourth quarter, to win the game when your opponent was running out of gas. We went through all of that from June, July, August to be the best, to be the most competitive we could be. And I think the same principle applies in the Christian life. God uses trials, He uses difficulties to produce hupomone in us, endurance, steadfastness. And in doing so, He's much more focused on shaping our character than on preserving our comfort. It was not comfortable to be in the weight room in the middle of July after running, all these sprints on the track. To this day, I don't like to run. Those of you who run because you get some runner's high out of it, it never came from me. I don't like to run. We seek relief, but God desires maturity. He desires to fully develop our faith. And James further explains there in verses 3 and 4 that endurance must be allowed to complete its work so that we may be, listen to this, perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. Now, the word perfect there means mature, fully developed. You see, God looks in on us and He says, you're kind of a, baby follower of me. And He allows trials and difficulties into our life to give us hupomone,